Today we continue the story called The Marriage with the Notoriously Rich Boss. The previous part is in the description. Please subscribe and like, it helps a lot. Xia Yanyan is on stage and ready to start playing her song. This is the time for Xing Guang to do all this and understand that she will not succeed because she did not create this song, and now she is just pretending, but she is starting to like it. Xia Yanyan began to play the piano, which greatly surprised everyone present at this music festival. Mr. Gu was smiling and listening to the song, and he even started to like it, while the guy with the microphone was trying to tell him something. After Xia Yanyan finished, she pretended to cry and said that she could never imagine in her life that Mr. Gu would like her song so much, and now she is sincerely very happy. The guy with the microphone said that music critics on social media say that Xia Yanyan dominates the music charts just because she has a natural mermaid voice. The girl was happy and said that initially she wanted to improve this song before releasing it. But since the man liked this song so much, she already wants to release it but doesn't know what to call it. So she asked if name Lifetime is good. At the same time, Xing Guang listened to what Xia Yanyan was talking about, and she was very unhappy about it. In addition, there was one girl next to her who did not like that Xia Yanyan thinks better of herself just because she is a mermaid. After that, in a whisper, she asked the main character if she was her anti-fan, which surprised Xing Guang a little, and she stated that she had never harassed a celebrity in her life. Suddenly, Mr. Gu laughingly told Xia Yanyan not to name this song in any way, which greatly surprised the girl, and she blushed all over because she did not want some old man to dishonor her. After that, the man said that although her song is good, unfortunately this is not what he wanted, and the girl had better change the name of this song. After that, he told all the people that it turns out this music is not the one he heard then. Then he asked the rest of the people and the media to help him find the person who played that song then, since he still cannot forget it. Xia Yanyan, worried, told the man that she has a bunch of different interesting songs in the album, and at any moment she can write a song for him. But Mr. Gu did not listen to the girl and turned around and left her, saying that she seems rather boring. That's why she needs to go to rest. At that moment, Xia Yanyan finally lost her face and dignity. At that moment, Xing Guang began to sing the melody that Mr. Gu is looking for. To hear in this, he was in complete shock and wanted to quickly find the person who does it. Suddenly, a ray of light fell on the main character so that everyone knew something she sings. Mr. Gu asked the main character to sing again because he didn't hear well last time. Meanwhile, Xia Yanyan just burned with anger and didn't understand why Xing Guang was bothering her again. Xing Guang decided to fulfill the request of the man, and she began to sing again. Her voice and melody were so pleasant that everyone just fell silent and listened to it with pleasure. At that moment, Mr. Gu finally realized that she was the one who played the piano last night. But the main character replied that it was actually not her, but her friend, whose name is Yueji, who is a little shy and did not come with her today. Xia Yanyan looked at Xing Guang with anger. And I don't understand why this poisonous snake is constantly appearing everywhere. Mr. Gu noticed Xia Yanyan's anger but decided not to do anything. Asked the main character if she can play the piano. If so, she must definitely play because he wants to listen to her song a little more. After hearing this, Xia Yanyan was completely shocked and realized that this old man wants to prank her right in front of the whole crowd, and she definitely needs to come up with something quickly in order not to embarrass herself even more. At the same time, Xing Guang almost touched the piano with her small fingers to show her hidden talent. Last night she played according to her feelings because she was very upset, and now she will play in a good mood. She started playing, and her talent captivated all the people and they liked this song very much. In addition, music critics have noticed that the quality of this song is much better than that of Xia Yanyan. In addition, they feel that this song is full of real feelings. Xia Yanyan still didn't leave the stage. She was contemplating some plan to save her reputation. Suddenly, Xing Guang noticed that Xia Yanyan lost consciousness. One of the presenters of this festival started shouting into the microphone for someone to call the rescuers. All the journalists who were at this event immediately picked up their cameras and started taking pictures of it all, as it would be viral news, while the guards tried to stop them, but they didn't succeed. Xing Guang began to worry about Xia Yanyan's health, but Mr. Gu told her not to worry as she was just pretending. Noticing this, the main character immediately apologized and bowed to the man. At the same time, he was very interested in the name of this talented girl. Xingguang gave her name. At that moment, Mr. Gu said with a smile that he did not know a single person whose name would be Yue Ji. The main character was just in shock. I don't understand how the man knows about this, but he explained this by saying that he not only saw through her lies, but also found out that Xingguang was in love with someone. She immediately began to deny it, saying that she did not love anyone, but the man immediately stopped her, saying that Xingguang admired one man for a long time. So her song that she sang yesterday carried a sad tone, but today this song is full of love and sweetness. At that moment, the main character immediately began to remember Junjin, who wiped her head with towels, and she blushed all over. At the same time, a black luxury car raced at the speed of a flush through the city. In this car was Junjin, who was very interested in why Xia Yanyan came to the restaurant yesterday at the same time as him. Fu Zuo stated that according to his last analysis, his boss is clearly dating someone, so he assumed that he has feelings for Miss Xia, so he specifically asked the girl to come along with his boss. At that moment, Junjin was just furious and ordered the guy to stop the car right now and get out of it. Fu Zuo became very nervous and tried to explain something to him and apologize, saying that he would not do it again. But the boss did not listen to him. So after a couple of seconds, the guy was already on his knees in some forest. Junjin left him here and just drove on. Looking out the window, he didn't understand why so many people think he really likes Xia Yanyan when he doesn't. His friend said that today because he likes mermaids, and his whole life is full of different pictures of mermaids. Besides, in this world, Xia Yanyan is the only one, so all people think so. The guy stated that he believes that he doesn't like Xia Yanyan at all, and just likes mermaids, and that's it. Then, grinning, he asked his boss if he has known Xingguang for a long time. He also stated that he most likely likes her. Junjin blushed and firmly said that he did not know how long they had known each other, and he did not like her at all. But the driver understood that his boss was just pretending. After a while, they still stopped and Junjin got out of the car, not noticing how Fu Zuo was shorting some bike and rushing at great speed to his boss in order to tell something very important. Not having time to stop properly, he immediately said that Xingguang had just been taken away, which greatly shocked Junjin, and he asked what happened and why she was taken away. Fu Zuo said that the National Treasure Committee had just contacted him and said that Miss Ye has been taken to tea. Junjin was simply shocked and realized that if the National Treasure Committee took Xingguang away, it could mean that she insulted Xia Yanyan. Junjin's friend took out his phone and said that the news was spreading on social media that the maid of Xia family did not accept her dismissal, so she tied up Miss Xia for blackmail and revenge. Because of this, Xia Yanyan got very angry and was hospitalized. At that moment, Junjin turned around and asked if this had anything to do with his lover, and if the National Treasure Protection Bureau knew that Xingguang was a mermaid. The guy said that this organization was created specifically for Xia Yanyan, and they must always protect it, since it is a sacred and inviolable treasure. As a result, until they see that someone insulted Xia Yanyan, they will immediately go to the person who is Didi. Junjin angrily said that this is a waste of taxpayers' money and the state should disband this organization because it is useless. After that, he ordered Fu Zuo to cancel all upcoming appointments as they were on their way to the National Protection Bureau. At the same time, the main character was in some kind of corridor where the guards were in front of her, and they wanted to let her go. She stated that she is an ordinary reporter and never intended to encroach on the national treasure. In addition, the main character was invited to the stage to play a song, and she did nothing wrong, Xia Yanyan. Therefore, she is not guilty. The guard, holding his glasses, said that the situation was very absurd and mystical, so there is no need to say more. In addition, Miss Xia is the only mermaid in the whole country, and Xingguang cannot shoulder this responsibility. Pointing the finger at the heroine, the guard said that since the girl is a citizen, she must love and protect the national treasure. If Xia Yanyan is harmed, the national treasure will completely die out, which is a huge loss for the whole country. At that moment, Xingguang could no longer contain her anger in herself and shouted that if they were afraid that the national treasure might die out, then they should marry her to someone. And after that, it is worth starting to give birth to a lot of children in order for the population to increase. And after that, even donate some mermaids to other countries. The guy calmed down and asked the main character to be serious. He also said that the main character is here only because Miss Jia was benevolent, and accordingly she should apologize to the mermaid for what she did. Otherwise, Xing Guang will have to go to jail for several months. Hearing this, the main character was simply shocked and did not understand what she should apologize for since nothing happened and she did nothing. Looking into the room, she noticed Jia Yanyan, who was talking to her parents, who were very worried about her daughter's health. Although in fact, she was not even sick and was just pretending. Xing Guang remembered how one day in her childhood, her mother told her that her sister is now sick and they should take care of her. Xing Guang just wanted to play with her parents, but they didn't even pay attention to her, and it hurt him a lot. One day she also got sick, and she had a fever. She couldn't even do anything about it, and just begged her parents for help, with the hope that they would help her. But her mom was just yelling at her saying she shouldn't get sick, and asking her daughter to stop drawing attention to herself as it irritates her so much. At that moment, the brother of the protagonist approached her and hugged her and asked his mother why they don't take care of her anymore. But the mother answered with indifference, if she does, then she won't have enough time to take care of Xia Yanyan, whom she loves more. In addition, Xing Guang looks very ugly, and a child like her will never understand. She also said that she wants to rise above the class and become upper class, and in order to achieve this goal, she can only rely on Xia Yanyan. Meanwhile, the main character, trying to calm down, nevertheless decided to go into the room where her evil sister was. She noticed her real mother, who was unhappy to see the man who hurt her daughter. She immediately told Xing Guang to wait here since Xia Yanyan is sleeping now, so she needs to wait until she wakes up, and after that go to her and apologize. Smiling, the main character realized that her mother could not even recognize her. Grinning, Xing Guang stated that she did not come here to apologize in order to collect debt. After that, she immediately ran to her sister's bed. Her mother tried to stop her, but he couldn't do it. Besides, the father just sat and read the newspaper and, raising his head, was simply shocked. He screaming asked who gave Xing Guang permission to come here, call her an uneducated person. At that moment, the main character took a chair and sat on it, saying that her education does not allow her to respect them. Her parents were just furious and did not understand how this child could be so rude towards them, and said that if she continues to be rude to them, then she will go to jail. Xing Guang was not afraid of prison, and with a smirk asked her parents if they knew how many years they would have to spend in prison for murdering a national treasure. You will hear that the parents were completely at a loss and said that they would never kill their own daughter. After that, the main character said that she did not come here to play with them in order to advise them not to touch her in the future, and it would be better for everyone if they keep their distance. Suddenly, Xia Yanyan, who had been pretending to sleep all this time, suddenly woke up, and pointing her finger at her sister, she did not understand what nonsense Xing Guang was talking about, saying that if she did not apologize, she would ask the investigator to take her away. Clapping her hands, the main character said that she didn't care, and she could call anyone. Besides, she would be happy to see the investigators here to hear how two parents threw their 6-year-old daughter into the sea, leaving her alone to fight for her life. Besides, the National Conservation Departments will also be very interested in this. Parents and their beloved daughter will be simply shocked by what they heard and did not understand what the main character was talking about. At that moment, Xia Yanyan said that her parents gave birth to only one mermaid, and that was her. The main character pretended to be very surprised by this and said that when she was little, she saw how her parents threw one mermaid into the ocean, and she filmed it on camera, although in fact it was a mermaid, but she decided not to tell Xia Yanyan about it. She then asked her parents if she should send such valuable material to the National Treasure Protection Bureau. When parents heard this, they were simply shocked and began to get very worried, because for this crime, they could be imprisoned for many years. Xia Yanyan started screaming, saying that the main character is just lying and she really had a little sister who was very sick at birth and no one could heal her. So her parents decided to throw her into the sea. Xing Guang's mother stated that she loved the child she threw into the sea very much, But unfortunately, this child was sick with a serious illness. At that moment, the main character calmly said that all this was a lie, since in fact they did it in order to save their beloved daughter. In addition to this, Miss Jia suffered from chronic leukemia since childhood, and because of this, her parents sacrificed their second daughter in order to save the life of Xia Yanyan. Looking at Xia Yanyan, Xing Guang asked if she likes to live on the deaths of others. At that moment, the girl was completely at a loss and did not understand how the main character knew all this. Mom Xia Yanyan was worried and asked the main character, how did she know all this? To which the main character replied that then she decided to save that little mermaid, and she told her a lot of interesting stories about which she can also tell. After that, Xing Guang left without saying that your little mermaid whom she then was she, and no one recognized the main character, even her own parents. Xia Yanyan told her in the back that if she continues to be rude to them, it will not do anything for her. She also said that Junjin loved her all this time, and even if Xing Guang manages to get his body, she will never get his heart. At that moment, the main character got very angry, and wanting to open the door said that if this is true, then Junjin does not deserve it. Suddenly, the guy decided to go to the room where he immediately met his beloved woman, which surprised the main character a little. He immediately hugged her with the words that he is worthy of her, and he wants her to love him. Looking at each other's eyes, they were already ready to kiss. Suddenly, the father addressed them, calling Junjin his son-in-law, and asked if he had come here to meet Xia Yanyan. At that moment, the main character immediately pushed her husband away, saying that if he came here to meet Xia Yanyan, then he should not even touch her. But the guy grabbed the main character by the hand and ran somewhere and explained to her that Xia Yanyan is not his people. After that, he sat on the table and put the main character on his feet. Xing Guang felt very uncomfortable, and she did not understand what Junjin wants to do now. The parents looked at it. They didn't understand what the guy was doing as they thought he was dating Xia Yanyan. At that moment, he took Xing Guang in his hair. The guy admitted that he really likes both of their daughters, which made Xia Yanyan very happy. After that, he added that although he likes both daughters, he does not like Xia Yanyan. Hearing this, Ms. Wang was very angry and did not understand what the guy wanted to say. She also said that if he does not love Xia Yanyan, then he will have to pay for all the pictures and images that he has with the girl, as this violates copyright. Also, Ms. Wang was very interested in who he might like since she has only one daughter. At that moment, Junjin said that this is not true, and in his heart, there is another daughter of hers that they know about. At that moment, Ms. Wang remembered the words of Xing Guang when she spoke about the fact that she noticed how they threw the mermaid into the sea, and immediately realized that the main character is her second daughter, who still managed to survive. But Ms. Wang continued to deny everything and said that she has only one daughter. The main character looked at it and did not understand why her mother is so cruel. Suddenly, her husband abruptly hugged her, which surprised her a little, and with loving eyes, she looked at his face. At that moment, he asked Ms. Wang if she was afraid that God would punish him for what she had done. When she heard this, the woman simply fell to the ground, being in a stupor, and did not know how to react to this and what to do. After that, the guy approached the mermaid, stating that they would never get married, at the same time hugging the main character. Then, they left Xia Yanyan alone together and left the room, saying that Xing Guang is the only woman he truly loves, and Xia Yanyan better never get involved in their relationship as she will regret it. Meanwhile, the girl was just in shock and could not close her mouth in surprise. She did not understand why the guy did not tell her that he was dating her little sister. She also added that Xing Guang could never compare to her, calling her an ugly fish. After that, the heroes calmly went about their business. After a while, the couple was already in their car. The main character was sitting on her phone. But in fact, she wanted to talk to Junjin, who was very busy and had been talking to someone on the phone for an hour about the World Economic Congress. But in fact, the guy called himself crazy because he published the news that he likes the youngest daughter of the Xia family. Also looking at the face of his wife, he was very interested in what she thought of him, and what she thought when he said those words to her mother. Looking at Xing Guang's phone with one eye, he noticed that she was chatting with some man. As it turned out, the main character talked with Han Chung Bei, who asked the girl if she could go with him to the island where her home is, since he and his friends are looking for an island where they could relax. And since Xing Guang already knows this island, she can tell them about it. She was very glad that she could finally return home, as she had missed him for a long time. Also, Han Chungbei wrote that Xing Guang is his big sister and the hope of his life. Junjin got a little angry because he didn't like some man talking to his woman. The guy said indignantly that he should go back to the city tonight, since he will have an economic conference tomorrow morning that he can't miss in any way, so Xing Guang will go with him. The main character was at a loss, and the fact that she would go with her husband to such an important conference, so she didn't understand why she should follow him since she hadn't even prepared her stuff. And besides, she had small plans for tomorrow. The guy touching his forehead with his hand said that she should not worry about it. Today he was on the road all day and was very tired, so he asked one person to prepare all the clothes for them and they do not need to worry about it. Looking at her husband, Xing Guang wanted to tell him that tomorrow she should meet with Han Chengbei in order to go to the island, but if she does, then Junjin will strangle her to death. Touching his hands to Junjin's face, who was all red and looking directly into his eyes, the main character asked why he wants her to go with him. The guy said that since she is a reporter, she would most likely like to interview someone. Xing Guang did not understand why she did this because the TV station did not assign her to be at that event. Therefore, she is not responsible for this interview. At that moment, the guy said that she could figure everything out herself, since a soldier who does not want to become a general is not good soldier. In addition, he promised that tomorrow he would prepare an interview for her with the biggest figures in the economy. No one will have this interview, since it will be exclusive. Hearing this, Xing Guang was overjoyed and agreed. After that, she took her phone in hand and decided to write to Han Chungbei that tomorrow she would not be able to go to the island with him due to the fact that she had an urgent job. Meanwhile, Han Chungbei was very upset by the fact that he won't be able to meet the main character tomorrow. Throwing away his phone, he told his friend that he is an elite man and many women are chasing him, but right now he has canceled a date with another woman. He told his friend, whose name is Lu, that his big sister won't be able to meet them and go to the island as she will be working overtime. Also, Han Chengbei was very curious why that island interested Lu so much. The guy holding a mug of tea in his hand said that recently now he wants to find a quiet place to rest by the waist, and if the main character does not have free time, then let Han Chengbei make another appointment. One of the servants approached Lu, noticing that he looks very tired now, so he suggested that he find another island to rest. But the guy threw some book on the table, which this servant immediately took. Opening the book, he was simply shocked because it was written about some woman who was somehow connected with that island. In this book, it was written that Xing Guang was able to touch the heart of Ye Junjin, and the guy did not understand how an ordinary girl could make Junjin fall in love with her. Lu, looking out the window, said what exactly he wants to find out, and for this he needs to fly to her home island. Also, the guy did not understand how the pairing system could choose her and one of the top 10 richest single people in this country. But he assumed it was just luck. But Lu stated that relying on luck is not enough, and Xing Guang's personality is very strange. Lu wants to find out everything about Xia Yanyan and Ye Junjin, but Xing Guang is a mystery, so she should be investigated first. Meanwhile, the heroes were on a plane that had already taken off. On this plane were a bunch of important personalities from the world of the economy, and they all slept peacefully in their places. Suddenly, Junjin felt something strange and immediately realized that his illness is occurring right now. The guy's friend immediately noticed how his old illness was coming back again, and they had to quickly come up with something. At that moment, Junjin got fangs and asked his friend to tell the pilot to find the nearest place to land because there are a lot of people on this plane. He is afraid that he will not be able to control himself. After that, the guy got up and went to some room. At the same time, his friend called someone and asked Junjin to be patient for a while, since they will solve this problem now. The guy went into the room of the main character where she slept peacefully. Looking at her, he realized that he should do everything possible so that Xing Guang would not see him like that. So he immediately closed the door and ran to another room. Shutting himself off from all the people, he began to sweat a lot, and his heart ached a lot. He also asked his guys to guard this place for him, and no matter what he does, they should not let him out under any circumstances. This is his order and they should not disobey. Besides, they should try not to wake up Xing Guang. Then the guards agreed and said that they would follow all orders. Suddenly, Xingguang came out of her room, who was very sleepy and did not understand what was happening at all. The guard immediately stopped her, saying that she needed to go back to her room in order to rest, and he would wake her up. When the plane landed, suddenly, knocks on the door were heard from the toilet, which scared the girl a little, and she asked the guys what was going on there. The guard said that Junjin drank too much of it. He got drunk, and now he's a little crazy. At that moment, the main character immediately remembered the case when her husband also felt very bad, and she yelled at the guards saying that he was not really drunk. It had something to do with his old illness. The guards were just shocked, as they didn't know that the main character was aware of Junjin's illness. The guy said that Junjin's disease recurs without any patterns, and it is very difficult to predict when it will appear again. That is why he needs so many guards. They are needed not to protect him, but to protect others from him. At that moment, the main character is why everything this time he needed so many cars, as she thought he just likes to show off. The blows on the door got harder and harder, and the door was so damaged that it almost broke. Xingguang asked the guard at the door to open the door and let him go. As he must be in great pain right now, he should be helped as soon as possible. Xiao Yun, looking at all this, remembered one incident from his childhood when he played with Junjin, and the guy accidentally attacked the dog and drank all his blood. Then Junjin began to ask Xiao Yun to help him somehow, and even to tie him up so that he would not do this again. Meanwhile, the main character's husband tied his hands with a tie so that he would not accidentally break the door completely and injure her. Junjin understood that if he put Xingguang in his heart, you should be very careful with her. He also asked himself if she was ready to live with a monster like him. Suddenly he lost control of himself again, and by force tore the tie that tied his hands. After that, he hit the door behind which the main character was with all his might. Making a hole in the door there, he saw his wife, who looked at him with interest and was very worried about him. At that moment, the guy immediately turned around so that she would not see him. He also ordered Xiao Yun to remove the main character from here, as it was not safe for him. Then, Xiao Yun stood in front of the girl like a wall to prevent her from going inside that room, and once again asked him to go back to his bedroom. Xingguang began to explain that it was not good to lock him in the toilet, and all he needed now was to stand still and take a pillow. All the guards, including Xiao Yun, were at a loss and did not understand why the boss needed a pillow, since they had never heard before that a pillow could alleviate his illness. The main character, screaming and blushing, declared that the last time his illness recurred, he hugged her like a pillow, and after that, everything returned back to normal. After that, she pushed the guard aside, saying that he needs to stay away and let him go because there are a lot of different bacteria in that toilet, and as a result, he can get even more different diseases. One of the guards, worried, did not understand how his boss hugged Xingguang all the time and never bit her. Since this is simply impossible, during his illness, his desire to drink blood takes over the mind. At the same time as the guard was saying this, Junjin started yelling, ordering him to shut up and not tell all this to her. Xingguang was worried, and the whole loss did not understand what kind of strange disease it was, and why it caused a sharp desire to drink blood. After that, she immediately ran to her room, closing the door. And all this was watched by her husband, who was a little glad that she did it anyway, because in this way he could not harm her. After coming out of the restroom, he asked Xiao Yun to find something solid to hold him back, since he can't afford to turn into a blood-sucking monster again. After a couple of minutes, the guy was already tied with iron chains to his chair. Xiao Yun suddenly approached him holding a glass of water and offered it to his boss, saying that the water could calm him down. He also stated that Xingguang is an ordinary girl who recently graduated from college, and she had never seen such things, so she might be a little scared now. Suddenly, Xingguang came out of the room, who for some reason was very happy, and in her hands was a small bowl with some contents. One of the guards looked at what was in this mug and saw that it was something red, and he suggested something might be real blood, which scared him a lot. Hearing this, Junjin was simply shocked and did not understand what his wife was doing, and why she dared to take her blood in order to give him. The main character immediately stopped him and said that now he is delusional, and in fact it is not blood, but it can help him calm down if he drinks all this. Junjin was at a loss, did not understand what it could be. He also always thought that the main character hates him, and instead of staying away from him as far as possible, she decided to take her blood in order to give him. When the bowl was already next to his face, he immediately started yelling and ordering Xiao Yun to get the main character out of here. Seeing how her husband does not want to drink this liquid, the main character grabbed his cheeks, preparing to do something with him. Suddenly, she decided to drink this liquid herself. After that, she passionately kissed her husband, and in this way she was able to give him a drink of the liquid that could calm him down and help him. They kissed for a very long time, and the guy looked at the girl and could not take his eyes off her. At the same time, the guards looked at all this and were simply shocked and did not know how to react to all this. After the hero finished kissing, Junjin asked his wife if she felt ashamed. But Xing Guang stated that she doesn't feel back since they are a legal couple. And why is he spouting such nonsense? Junjin stammeringly said that it's just a contract. At that moment, the main character, clapping him on the shoulder, said that she knows that he does not love her, since in the hospital the guy did not say that he loves the youngest daughter of the Xia family. And naturally, this is Xia Qiongqiong. Sighing deeply, the guy asked himself when Xing Guang would finally understand that he was talking about her then. After that, he ordered his guards to take the main character away as quickly as possible, which they began to do. Left alone, Junjin was at a loss and did not understand why Xing Guang decided to take her blood and even feed him with it. Then he slowly began to understand that the girl might have already changed and did not hate him anymore. Suddenly, Xiao Yun approached his boss and said that this liquid does not seem to be blood, and most likely they misunderstood Xing Guang, so he will now ask him. But Junjin was already very tired and just fell asleep, asked his guys not to wake him up before they landed. Waking up in the middle of the flight, he noticed that his illness began to heal very quickly, which he was very surprised, and immediately realized that this was somehow connected with the liquid that he drank. After that, he decided to go to Xing Guang's room, and when he saw her sleeping very sweetly, he just couldn't take his eyes off her. He also remembered the moment when she kissed him so that he would drink that liquid, and remember that he felt very embarrassed and blushed all over. Junjin wanted to fix his wife's blanket so it wasn't cold but accidentally fell on her. He was right in front of the main character's face, and I even think about kissing her, but immediately changed his mind because he doesn't want to wake her up. Suddenly, Xing Guang smelled some familiar smell. At the same time, the main character had wonderful dreams that she is in the form of a mermaid and lives somewhere underwater, and she is also the queen about this dream. Her throne is a huge pearl, and she even has her own servants. They are not servants who were also a mermaid and came to their queen saying that there are humans claiming to be marriage subjects who wants to meet her. Xing Guang was a little surprised by this and said that he never had any objects, and people most likely simply deceived them. After that, she ordered her services to catch the person who deceived them as quickly as possible, since she wants to look at the one who behaves so arrogantly. After a while, the servants came with some man who had a black mask on his face. The main character told him that she was the queen of all mermaids. All those who dared to deceive her must die. But the guy did not listen to her and immediately kissed her hand on one knee. He called Xing Guang his beloved and stated that he would never cheat on her. He also added what is the object of her first kiss. Xing Guang was at a loss and did not understand anything. Suddenly turning around, she saw another guy who was unhappy with the fact that the main character kissed some unknown guy. Xing Guang started explaining that this is not true and she doesn't even know who it is. But the guy did not listen to her and immediately grabbed her hand along with the guy with the mask, who apparently was Junjin. Suddenly, the main character woke up in her bed and realized that it was just some kind of terrible dream in which she had a dream that toxic guy. Also, she did not understand who the guy with the black mask was and why he was talking about some kind of first kiss. Xing Guang lost her first kiss when she was thrown into the sea. At that moment, one boy on a piece of board quickly swam up to her in order to save her. This boy's name was Qin Junye, and he is an unhappy child who has never had fun in his life. At that moment, he took and kissed the main character who was still unconscious. After that, they tried to swim to land together, going through a huge number of different trials, one of which was that did not allow them to swim. But Qin Junye strongly supported Xing Guang, telling her not to be afraid, because he would protect her. And without his help, she would not be able to be here today, however. After he saved her a huge wave of the wing of heroes and the guy went underwater. In his last words, he asked the main character to swim away from here as quickly as possible and not worry about him, as he will be able to get out. But unfortunately, he still couldn't get out and died. Being in front of the mirror, Xinguang remembered that his death anniversary is coming soon, and it's worth burning all the votive paper for him. Suddenly looking in the mirror, she noticed something strange, namely that her lips turned pink, which she was very surprised but did not pay due attention to. After dressing, she left her room and noticed that the plane had almost landed. Besides that, she did not understand why the atmosphere in the plane was so strange. At that moment, Junjin came out of his room and covered his face with his hand. Xiao Yun told the main character that he would soon take her to the hotel because Junjin needed to go somewhere urgently. After some time, the main character, along with Xiao Yun, arrived at the hotel, where they met two girls, one of whom asked what Xinguang was doing here. She explained this topic that he should have a meeting with big figures today in order to interview them, so the leader sent her here. As it turned out, one of these girls was Ying Ying, who was very unhappy to see the main character here, and her friend said that according to the traditions of their company, this interview should be the most beautiful reporter. Xiao Yun was about to leave and said that Junjin is already at a meeting with celebrities from the financial world, so Xinguang can rest and eat for a while, and then interview them after hearing this from Ying Ying, since she has long wanted to see the husband of the main character. But the guy said that Junjin only invited Miss Ye. After hearing this, Ying Ying was unhappy, and since she is also a reporter, and also wants to interview those celebrities. The same time, the main character said that her husband has already contacted young Master Ye, so she will go first. However, Ying Ying suddenly grabbed Xinguang's hand, saying that she was the reporter who should interview those famous people, and the girl was unhappy that the main character came here. Ying Ying suggested that the main character feels angry because she stole her boyfriend, namely Shi Yin-chun. Xinguang angrily said that she stopped paying attention to Shi Yin-chun a long time ago because she is no longer interested in him. If they both want to get married, then she wishes them great happiness. Secondly, if Ying Ying also wants to interview those personalities, then she will ask her husband to arrange this. After that, she started laughing, saying that she remembered that her husband couldn't do it. Ying Ying was just furious and wanted to see the main character's husband as soon as possible, as she was very interested in whether he was so powerful. First, Xinguang, some supercar, picked Xinguang up. Now she has an interview booked with big figures from the financial world, and she was very unhappy that the main character is very happy since she should be in her place. At the same time, the main character, along with her driver, is in front of the entrance to the office where her husband communicates with all the big figures of the financial world. But Junjin has not arrived yet, and Xiao Yun asked the main character to enter and sit next to Junjin's position. Taking a deep breath, Xinguang still decided to go. She introduced herself as reporters from Kyoko TV station, and her husband Mr. Ye arranged for her to have a private interview with everyone. She nevertheless found a place where she could sit down. I was next to some man who immediately began to pour wine into her glass, saying that Xinguang is very beautiful, and if she drinks the whole glass of wine, they will immediately start the interview. Xinguang immediately refused wine, stating that she was allergic to wine and the only thing she could drink was green tea. The man got a little pissed, saying that if she didn't drink, then she didn't respect him. Besides, they wouldn't let them interview if she didn't drink this glass of wine. Xinguang was in a desperate situation, so she had to take this glass and say that she would drink it. Suddenly, a man grabbed a glass from the hands of the main character, saying that cheer drink with her wine glass doesn't suit Suou. This man turned out to be Junjin, who arrived at the meeting on time, holding glasses of wine in his hands. He said that if Suou wants to drink, then let him drink with him. At that moment, Xia Zhaoye was very surprised that Junjin cares so much about his employees, and accordingly, he is a very good boss. Suddenly, the guy took out his phone, an application with which guys can see if they were chosen as husbands, and it was written that Xia Zhaoye could become Xinguang's husband, but then she chose a different number. This surprised the girl a little, and she said that it was true, since she saw this number in the civil department. Xia Zhaoye did not understand why Xinguang did not choose him since his number was very beautiful, and only consisted of 8s. The main character laughingly replied that at that moment she really would like to take this number, but the system gave her a very short time, and he didn't even have time to think which number to choose, and the system automatically chose the number instead of her. Junjin, blushing all over, was unhappy that his wife said that she would not choose him, since the strong should win and the weak should lose, and she should not sympathize with them. At that moment, Suo Yu said that Junjin would not be able to protect his wife. Thus, since he just wanted to have a drink with her, he does not understand why he is embarrassing him. Then the guy angrily said that if Suo Yu feels uncomfortable, then he can go out. This surprised all the other guys a little who didn't understand what it could mean. And then they immediately realized that Junjin and Xingguang were not just ordinary work colleagues, but could even be a couple. Then Tu Hao stood up and asked Junjin to introduce them all to the female protagonist as they are looking forward to it. At that moment, Xingguang felt very embarrassed as her true identity was revealed, and now everyone knows that she is Xingguang's wife. When Tu Hao extended his hand to Xingguang to shake hands, Junjin immediately stopped him, a little surprised the guy as he just wanted to get to know the main character better. Also, Suo Yu was now very ashamed of everything he had done and said what she was before, so he would punish himself and drink already 3 glasses of wine alone. He then added that he wanted to be interviewed first. Tu Hao said with a smile that he also wants to be interviewed first, otherwise they will fight for her. All this time, the main character felt very embarrassed because when everyone found out her real personality, they began to treat her strangely. After a while, she already came home and took a deep breath. She was finally able to relax normally, as she was very tired today. In addition, she did not even have time to take a normal interview all day, since when she was already interviewing someone, instead of hearing a normal answer, Xingguang received questions about her personal life in response. After that, the main character asked Fuzhuo if there are any agreements planned for today, and if not, then she wants to take a little walk today. The guy replied that today was free all day but did not understand where she wanted to go already, and thought that he already needed to prepare a car for him. Xingguang stated that her husband's birthday would be soon, so she wanted to go to the gift shop and buy gifts for him. Hearing this, Fuzhuo was intrigued as this is his only chance to redeem himself. Besides, the main character is a recent college graduate, so she must have money problems, and it would be difficult to buy an expensive gift for her. So, taking out his black card, the guy said that Xingguang can use this card to buy a gift. The main character was, "Why should she use some card to buy a gift, Junjin?" Showing thumbs up, Fuzhuo asked Xingguang to believe him because the gift is important for the heart, and Junjin will not understand who paid for it. After that, the guy added that the car is ready and the girls should hurry up. Besides, he will keep it all a secret. Xingguang took the card and was a little surprised at the speed of the car arriving. She left, leaving the guy alone in the house, but he had something on his mind. Taking out his phone, Fuzhuo called Junjin, and with a smile asked the boss to guess where his wife should go. Junjin was not in a good mood anyway, and said that if he wants to say something, let him say it quickly. Otherwise, he will hang up. At that moment, Fuzhuo replied that she had left to buy him a birthday present. Hearing this, Junjin was very surprised that the main character took the initiative to buy him a present. Also, Fuzhuo added that the main character asked him not to say anything because she wants it to be a surprise. Junjin decided that if she wanted to, he would pretend that he didn't know anything. Hung up. He smiled and did not understand why Xingguang suddenly became so cute. Previously, she would never even remember his birthday. Now she slips away to buy him a gift. Since the girl is preparing a gift for him, he should also prepare a surprise for her even more. So he called Fuzhuo again, ordering him to make arrangements quickly. Meanwhile, the main character was already in the city and was thinking what gift to buy for her. Suddenly a notification came to her phone. Looking at who I wrote, she saw that these were messages from Fuzhuo, who advised her to congratulate her husband as early as possible in the morning, and she would be the first to congratulate him. But unfortunately, she will not be able to congratulate him in the morning, so she said that she would congratulate him at 12 o'clock in the evening. But Fuzhuo wrote something. It will be too late since Junjin will already be asleep. Thinking, Xingguang remembered that in addition to the fact that tomorrow is her husband's birthday, tomorrow is also Qin Junye's death anniversary. So the girl decided that first she would celebrate Qin Junye's death anniversary, and after that, her husband's birthday. At night of the same day, Xing Guang was in the courtyard of her house and carried some bags on her back. She thinks that Junjin is already sleeping, so now it's time to burn some votive paper. Burning paper, she said that Qin Junye, who came from a remote countryside and his whole family were farmers, he did not even finish primary school, but had to go to work already, so it was very easy for such a young person. But after all this, he became shark food in order to save Xing Guang. Now the girl understands that then she would be able to save herself, even if she was very small. Suddenly the girl felt that someone began to approach her from behind, and immediately realized who it could be. That person turned out to be Junjin, who spent the whole night trying to find her. After that, he took out his phone and asked Fu Zuo not to look for her anymore, since he already found her. Xing Guang was very surprised that her husband was still awake. Junjin touched his forehead with his hand, and a little upset said that the maid noticed that Xing Guang was missing, so they spent the whole night trying to find her. Also, he did not understand why she ran away here in the middle of the night to burn some papers. Xing Guang apologized for not telling him what she wanted to do. She also said that she was burning papers not for him, but for her friend. The guy angrily asked why she was doing all this, and he thought what should be done specifically in order to curse him. Looking the guy straight in the eyes, the main character told him that he was wrong, misunderstood everything. But the guy did not listen and just left with the thought that he was wrong, and Xing Guang has not changed yet. She yelled at him and asked him to stop. How could she explain everything? She also did not understand why he immediately began to think badly about her. But the guy did not listen and said that he had better separate. He also realized that he better not be delirious thinking about her. Xing Guang is left alone, and look at how her husband leaves. She understands that it will be very difficult for her to explain to him why she did all this. So she decided that tomorrow she would go to him and explain everything. In addition, she hopes that he will not forbid her to attend his birth, since she has not even given him a gift yet. Having collected all her things, the main character is already about to leave, but behind her was Xiao Yun, who had an order to take Xing Guang to the hotel. She also asked the guy to help her with a gift. If her husband does not calm down until tomorrow, then he will have to give him her gift. And this gift is on the nightstand in her room. But the guy said that it would be better if she herself gives him that gift. Being next to the car, the main character looked at the house in which her husband is. After that, she got into the car. Meanwhile, Junjin was looking out the window for all this, and he did not understand what to do with Xing Guang. The next day, the main thing was talking to Xiao Yun on the phone, and she asked him not to send a car to her as she had already called a taxi, and she would be able to get to her work on her own. Sitting in a taxi next to her, she saw another guy, which was very surprised. The driver excitedly said that it's just carpooling. He also asked her if she was okay with it, as business is not easy at all today, and he hopes she will understand. Xing Guang said that she wants to get to the TV station. The driver said that this station is just on his way, and they can quickly get there. When she looked at her location, Xing Guang got scared because the driver was driving the wrong way. She immediately started yelling at him, saying that he was going somewhere wrong and asking where he wants to go. After that, she tried to open the door and ordered the taxi driver to stop it so that she could get out. Suddenly, the guy who was next to the girl grabbed her by the mouth so that she would not scream and not attract too much attention. At that moment, the girl realized that they wanted to kidnap her. She quickly reacted and grabbed the guy by the throat and began to attack him in the face with her fists, hitting him. Xing Guang said that when she was little, she herself dealt with sharks with her bare hands, and it would not be difficult for her to deal with one guy. After that, she asked the driver if he thinks he is stopping, since now she can go to him. But the driver did not even think of stopping and, on the contrary, pressed the gas pedal even harder. Seeing this, the main character took some kind of towel, and with the help of it, they tried to strangle this taxi driver, ordering him to stop as soon as possible. Otherwise, she would deal with him. The man, fearing for his life, said that he was just hired to do it, and the person who hired him is at the construction site not far from here. He asked him to take Xing Guang there, and he will give him the money. At that moment, the girl ordered him to get to the one who hired him, how she wants to see him and figure it out. When he heard this, the guy was perplexed. did not understand why she wants from this, since there will be many men who can easily catch her. After a while, they nevertheless reached the construction site where the guy, without even getting out of the car, began to scream so that they called their brothers, since this girl is very strong, and she was able to deal even with San. All the bandits were two stumps and did not understand what this idiot was talking about. At that moment, the main character hit the driver and he just flew out of the car. The blow was so strong that even the car door broke. Xingguang got out of the car and clenched her fists and asked if the bandits were ready to fight one at a time or all at once. At that moment, all the men immediately took out their bits and attacked the main character in a crowd, who calmly stood and prepared to fight. At the same time, Junjin was in his house where his birthday was held. Everyone had already gathered to visit, but for some reason he was sad. He was very worried about his wife, whom he couldn't even get through, and even Fuzhuo couldn't find her. Then the guy suggested that Xingguang ran away after what happened yesterday. Suddenly, Jia Zhaoye approached him, holding a glass of wine in his hands. He did not understand why Junjin was so sad. He was also very interested where his wife was. At that moment, Junjin stood up abruptly and just left without answering the guy's questions. Suddenly, one of the girls in tears said that they were doing very well, since Miss Ye is about to be beaten to death. Xia Zhaoye would be at a loss and did not understand what this woman was talking about. She stated that Xingguang was evicted from her house by Master Jin. She was very furious and ran to Xia Zhaoye's house to make mess. Miss Ye was crazy. Apparently because the Yi family's maid was talking nonsense, she come to Miss Ye to vent her anger. Now Xia Zhaoye's house is almost destroyed, and it seems that house is about to collapse. All the people who were at this event began to whisper among themselves, saying that this is a very strange situation. An allegation on the internet is true, because Ye Junjin and Xia Yanyan are really in love. Junjin also wanted to check it out since his wife was lost, and he hasn't been able to contact her for a couple of days. So he ordered Xiao Yun to send people there. Besides that, he didn't understand why she would run to the Xia family to make a mess. And rather, something happened to her. Meanwhile, Xingguang got out of the car and she was heading to some house holding a bat in one hand, using her hand to carry the body of one of the bandits. Loudly opened the door with her foot. She immediately threw this bandit towards the guards, who immediately met the girl at the entrance. Entering the house, she immediately began to destroy everything with a bat. While Xia Yanyan, her parents, watched all this and did not understand why she was doing this, and they said that they would call the police now because the main character entered their house illegally. At that moment, the main character decided to take a break and laughingly declared that they could call the police, since she would just tell them about how they specifically wanted to kidnap her. Xia Yanyan approached her sister and said that she really is a gangster woman. Her father also added that she hit people, ruin everything, so they won't do it anymore and she can safely leave here. Even if the main character has some video evidence, she will not be able to intimidate them in any way, since Xia Yanyan is a national treasure, and if Xingguang creates many problems, she will suffer from them for a long time. Suddenly, Jia Zhaoye came into the house, who was very interested in what was happening here. At that moment, Xia Yanyan immediately hugged her brother. They say that the main character is a very aggressive woman. Then, Xingguang blushed, as her brother often appeared in her dreams at the moment when her parents threw her into the sea. Then, he appeared and tried to stop the evil parents. The guy started yelling at the main character, ordering her to stop. He also asked her to give you at least one reason why she is doing all this. Suddenly, Junjin came into the house and said that if Xingguang had any problems, he would help her. After that, he approached Xingguang and hugged her, and asked her not to worry since he is here, and everything will be fine. At that moment, Ms. Wang began to say that the main character broke into their house and started destroying everything. But the guy did not listen to this, and said that if they did not tell the truth, then he would ask his guys to ask how everything was with these bandits. Then this bandit, who felt very bad and could not even speak normally, said that he had nothing to do with it, but he could tell everything as it was. He stated that someone hired him to kidnap Xingguang. After that, they had to take one video from her. Then they had to kill her instantly. Xia Zhaoye did not understand what video the guy was talking about, and why he came to his house. Suddenly, Xia Yanyan, screaming, asked her brother not to believe a single word of Xingguang, as she is simply jealous. At that moment, Junjin realized that no one wants to tell the truth, so it's time to tell it. He said that his wife, 16 years ago, filmed a video about how Xia Zhaoye's parents filmed how they threw his sister into the sea. Hearing this, the guy was just shocked and did not know how to react to it. Junjin also said that his parents lied to him, and in fact his sister would never run away from home because she was sick. The guy was just in shock despite his parents asking if this is true. Not able to believe you heard the guy said that his sister was only 6 years old then. And when he came home, his parents told him that she had gone somewhere. Besides, that her health was then very poor. Then Xia Zhaoye wanted to know where his sister was, and if she was even alive. But Junjin stated that he does not want to reveal her identity. Crying, the main character realized that her brother really loved her, and he just lied about the fact that she ran away from home. At the same time, Junjin said that she will give them 3 days to sort out their family affairs. After that, they must notify him of this. Otherwise, they will have to bear the consequences. After that, the heroes went to their home. But Xingguang did not stop thinking about her brother, whom she had not seen for a long time. Going out into the street, the girl wanted to go home on foot, as she was angry with her husband. But the guy immediately grabbed the girl and forcibly put her in the car, asking her to calm down because they had to get home. The girl tried to throw herself out of his arms and said that if he didn't let her go, she would hit him. Junjin kissed his wife's forehead and said that after they get in the car, she can hit him as many times as she wants. On the way home, the characters didn't even talk about anything, and the girl just sat looking out the window. When Junjin wanted to touch her, she immediately moved away from him, ordering her not to touch her because she did not like it. Then the guy quickly hugged his wife and apologized for the words that he said yesterday. Besides, today is his birthday, and there is a party at home, so everyone is waiting for them. After that, the guy, looking into the girl's eyes, who was already blushing, said that he was still waiting for a gift from her. At that moment, the main character explained that yesterday when she lit the paper, she did it for her friend who died 10 years ago, saving her. And if he does not believe her, then let him ask Fuzuo to investigate this. Then Fuzuo immediately turned around holding a tablet in his hands, saying that he would definitely investigate everything now and say if this is true. But Junjin, hugging his wife, said something doesn't matter since she agreed to open her heart to explain to him. At that moment, Fuzuo gave the tablet to the guy, saying that the main character really did not lie. And 10 years ago, there was actually a teenager named Qin Jun Ye, who died in an accident at sea. Looking at the time. When this incident happened, Junjin realized that the time and place are very similar. In the summer of 10 years ago, she was actually assassinated at sea. After that, he hugged his beloved woman even tighter and apologized for misunderstanding her. In addition, a large number of different delicious food awaits them at that party, so they need to hurry there. After a while, the main character was already wearing her beautiful dress, and she was enjoying the food. Suddenly, when she was carrying some kind of pie in her hands, some girl ran up behind her and immediately grabbed her. This girl turned out to be a friend of Xingguang named Xiaomi Hu, and they enjoyed the evening together. Suddenly, some women started approaching in their direction, who were unhappy that Xiaomi Hu ran away from them when they asked her to show her how to dance properly. When these women approached the girls, then one of them asked if they knew how to dance. If so, they should go to the center of the lobby to show everyone. Xiaomi Hu told the main character that she only went to school for 2 months, and her legs are still not stable. But that man is not at all thin, and pay attention only to herself while dancing, not caring about person next to him. At that moment, the main character extended her friend's hand and invited her to dance. Winking, Xingguang asked Xiaomi Hu to trust her, as she would do her best to make them stand out in this room. At the same time, all the guys were talking to each other, and one noticed 2 girls who danced very well. These girls turned out to be Xingguang and Xiaomi Hu, whose dance charmed all the visitors, and they couldn't take their eyes off the girls. Suddenly, when Xiaomi Hu opened her eyes, instead of seeing the main character, she saw her boyfriend. At the same time, Xingguang also noticed that she was now dancing with her husband, but she even started to like it, and they looked lovingly into each other's eyes. The guy dancing with the girl said that he did not even know that she could dance so well, and he was wondering how many more surprises she has left waiting for him to exploit. All the people stepped aside and just watched the dance of the heroes. In addition to this, They did not understand the same is the girl who dances with Junjin. Besides, when the guy looks at the girl, his eyes immediately become infatuated. After the hero finished the dance, a crowd of people surrounded them. They all wanted Junjin introduced to everyone who is Xingguang. At the same time, the main character was able to quickly escape from there in order to eat a little as she has to take care of her stomach. And after that, she will be able to speak normally. At the same time, her husband, touching her fingers to the piano, said that today he wants to introduce everyone to his beloved woman. Xingguang was simply at a loss and did not understand what was happening and what her husband intended to do. Suddenly, the guy began to play a very familiar melody, as it turned out. At that moment, Junjin started to sing. His words were so beautiful that they even touched the main character. Xiao Yun, who was behind Xingguang, smirked and asked him to approach her husband. The main character began to approach, but due to the fact that it was very dark, she saw almost nothing. However, suddenly she stepped on some stars with her foot, which began to glow very beautifully. It looked like magic. All the visitors looked at all this and were shocked by this beauty. Taking his wife by the hand, the guy gently invited her to go together and cut the cake. After that, he offered the girl to eat the first piece of cake. Suddenly, some girl wanted to know the name of this song because it was very beautiful. But Junjin said that this is the most popular song on the internet that has recently appeared, but he just took and added lyrics to it. Name is You Are My Shining Star. He wrote it based on her name, the 3 words in the song's title, it's Xingguang's name. At that moment, one of the girls who was shocked by the beauty of this song asked if she could post a video of them to Weibo. But the guy grabbed his wife that little Shakira was the main character, and she did not understand what Junjin intended to do. After that, they decided to leave this party together. Junjin also stated that he wants to relax a bit and spend time with the girl the country assigned to him, and everyone else can continue to have fun. Entering her room, Xingguang already began to understand what the guy wanted to do. She tried to somehow stop him, but the guy did not listen. The guy put the girl on the armchair. They already wanted to kiss her, and the main character was not against it. However, she suddenly pushed him away with the words that he drank too much alcohol. She also added that she was not a casual woman. Therefore, he should not touch her. Hugging the girl, Junjin said that she knows this, but he wants her to be his gift on his birthday. In addition, everyone has already congratulated him, but not it. At that moment, the girl remembered that her gifts were in this room and immediately ran to get him. Suddenly, Junjin began to feel bad again and realized that his illness was returning again. When he left the room, he understood that now there are too many people in the house. He can't interfere with them in any way, so he should go as far as possible from his house. At that moment, the main character found her gift, but she was very surprised that her husband was already about to leave somewhere. He wanted to leave the house quickly, so he intended to jump off the balcony, but Xingguang was able to stop him in time. I don't understand why he wants to do this right now when she wants to give him a gift. Junjin did not want to tell the girl that his illness was returning, so he lied to her that he had to meet someone urgently, and she should not tell anyone about it. The main character immediately realized that her husband was feeling bad again and for that illness, but she knows how to suppress it, and he should trust her. She took some kind of glass of water and some kind of bracelet with some kind of red sphere. This is a medicine bead. It may not be useful for others, but will be enough to restrain his urge to drink blood. While this bead turned ordinary water into a red liquid, the main character asked her husband where he got this disease for a long time, to which the guy replied that he himself did not know where he got this disease from, and it appeared 10 years ago. After hearing this, Xingguang was shocked and realized that for 10 years her husband had never drunk blood, and now it is clear why he behaves so aggressively when he gets this disease again. Suddenly Junjin smelled blood, but the girl said that in fact it was not blood, but ordinary algae that smelled like blood. That bead is raised in the middle of this kind of seaweed, so it has this fishy smell. After that, she took a glass of this liquid and asked his husband to drink it, since she would never deceive him, and would not let him drink blood against his will. But the guy took this glass in his hand and said that he would not drink until she feed him herself. Then the main character took and got her husband drunk with the words that even children can drink this medicine, and if he don't take it, then he will be spanked. After that, Xingguang is already going to go and give my gift to my husband. However, the guy quickly stopped her, saying that her gift is too simple, he wants it more. After that, he began to kiss the main character on the neck. At the same time, she felt very uncomfortable and blushed all over. Suddenly her phone started ringing. As it turned out, it was the father of Xingguang, who wanted to know how his daughter's circumstances. The guy quickly took her phone and answered her father's call, which greatly shocked the girl because she did not want her father to know about her husband.